Hey traders, checking in on the cryptocurrency space. FOMC reaction started for the bulls, ending with the bears. We'll see where we stand bigger picture from here and how I've been trading it. It's gone pretty well. All right, so we can see on the daily time frame an upper wick and a rejection from daily EMA 12, and pretty much tick for tick doing what SPY was doing a good bit of today. You can see SPY with a big bearish reaction. SPY is a potential daily bear flag, and we initially saw a bull reaction into a bear reaction. And if you are used to the FOMC, this happens very often. So it wasn't surprising. And we saw SPY double top. That was another clue and why it's a good idea to be watching SPY if you are actively trading the cryptocurrency space. TradingView was screwing up here with data, but right there, that double top was the top. And then we rolled over from there with bears controlling the rest of the move. And you can see TradingView is having data issues with these gaps, but that top was 1402 and 1406, so 202 and 206 p.m. Eastern. And Bitcoin didn't really have as clear of a double top. It broke to a higher high. So again, there was just a little bit of a clue in SPY. So a bit of a humble brag. I'm going to go over my trade here, and just because there are things that we can learn from it. Because again, in the cryptocurrency space and with trading in general, what is so hard about trading is you have to do the opposite of what your internal emotions tell you often. You have to rewire your brain. Maximum fear, I'm looking to buy. Maximum euphoria, I'm looking to sell. So what were the clues that align? I was in an Ethereum and Mana swing position. I've been in those positions for 4 or 5 days at this point, and doing a little bit of flipping to remain in control, and added Mana yesterday at 209 or so. I saw this 4-hour bull flag, and I said, added some Mana, stop under $2. This is either the 4-hour high or low for the trend change, or I stop out. And at that point in time, I tripled my Mana position size. So I had a little bit of Mana. I started scaling too early on the way down, so I got to fill at 220, and then I filled maybe 4 other positions under $2. I missed the final flush down, so I didn't get a good fill between 190 to 170, but we got enough of a bounce back that I was able to sell the positions that I added under $2, above $2, drop my break even down. So I went from 1 position to 5 positions, scaled back down to 1 position, didn't do anything. And then on this bull flag here, trying to find exactly where it was in the morning, it was, bear with me. So 7 a.m. yesterday, 125 right here. So right here, that is either our 4-hour high or low at $2, looking for the breakout, or I'll stop out because it was a resistance, a failure to break resistance, and then a 4-hour bull flag. So at that point, I added, and again, probably around 209, and tripled my position. So now I'm in 3 positions and just missed getting stopped out, and then the bull move. I sold this morning 2 of the positions that I added, so from 209 to the low 220s, and then I sold my final position 235 right up at the top. And here is those sells 234s. And Ethereum sold Ethereum right up at the top. So what was the high? 27.24, and I sold in the 27s, low 27s. So how did I know to sell? So here is what it is. Number 1, we're in daily downtrends. We know daily lower highs are going to be the result of this bounce in the most likely scenario. Number 2, daily EMA 12 resistance tests. I looked down, I saw Bitcoin testing that level after rejecting for an entire month. Number 3, euphoria. I looked at the screen here, and the entire watch list was all green, and it was all 5 to 15%. That showed me euphoria. Number 4, I know SPY is just looking for a daily lower high in a very similar scenario. Those charts are very similar. So I saw the euphoria and I liked my gains. So I said, I'm exiting everything. And I am now back to all cash in the cryptocurrency space after playing these daily oversold bounces because the RSI levels have cooled off, and that was my reason for being in the trade. Extreme RSI levels. Well, we bounced. RSI levels are no longer oversold, and we're just looking for daily lower highs. So I chose this euphoria to sell into, knowing if I am wrong, I'll leave money on the table. And other people will be making money, and they'll be happy, and it'll be great. And I'll have left money on the table, and I'm A-okay with that because I like where this trade is at. I like my gains on the day. If I'm right, then I won't give back any of the profit that I see on the day and on these trades. So it went really well as far as nailing the top with those sells and having a very successful oversold daily bounce trade. So now what do? I patiently wait. I have no urge to get back into positions. I have to watch to see how this plays out. We're either going to do one of two things. Number one, we have to wait till this daily candle closes. And then if the low of today breaks tomorrow, then we are either going to set a higher low compared to 32.9 and confirm a daily trend change by getting over 39,000 where we just topped out. So either a daily trend change or we're going to give it all back and head back down towards 30,000. So as long as daily EMA 12 is resistance, I have no confidence. And again, I would let these trades run if we were in uptrends. If we're in a daily uptrend, I am much more loosey-goosey with keeping a runner. But as long as we're in daily downtrends, I take advantage of bounces and bail into that strength because bears are just waiting for that EMA resistance to be making their entries. So from here, we've been dropping pretty hard, and we're going to anticipate an equilibrium is likely to form. Whenever you get wide volatility, you look for equilibriums. So once we find a bottom, we're then going to look for a bounce into a 4-hour lower high. The size of the bounce retracement will be very telling to us. Is it a bear flag bounce that favors further downside and confirms the daily lower high is set? Is it a 50% retracement bounce that then favors an hourly equilibrium? That remains to be seen. Step number one would be changing the 5-minute trend back to the bulls. We're just tightening up on the 5-minute right now. The stock market's about to close. Best case scenario for the bulls would be stock market closes, get some bounce, and try and set the higher low, or I should say try and set the low in this range to then look for a tightening range within. Dominance chart, no real information there. I'm on the weekly time frame now, and I'm watching 47.7. And anything under that is a weekly lower high as we continue to see a long drawn out tightening range. When this range breaks, again, I said it last video, but when this range breaks, anticipating that we do continue to tighten up, we're going to see significant volatility in the crypto space. Whether it's a bull move or a bear move, I don't know, but it will be significant because if you condense this down to the 1-month time frame, again, we are just tightening up. And the times where we have seen this dominance chart tighten up, we then get volatility. That's the way technical analysis works. Tightening ranges into volatility. So we're anticipating that we're going to remain within tightening ranges probably for another month at least, maybe even 2 months. Because again, you can just anticipate, well, if we keep bouncing another couple candles, then we pull back a couple candles. Next thing you know, that's a month into the future. So we'll keep an eye on it. But I'm on the weekly. That's all I care about right now. So Ethereum, again, daily EMA 12. And we didn't even get there, but Bitcoin was there, and that was enough for me. Ethereum has been lagging this entire bounce. And this entire bounce, I was saying, darn, I'm glad I got some mana. And even mana was lagging, but I chose the wrong coin. And then the ETH BTC 4-hour bull break took place this morning and then said, finally, there it's catching up now. And Ethereum was up 9% at one point today. But it was really struggling to get this bounce going. And the ETH BTC chart is just looking for a daily lower high. So ETH USD, just looking for that lower high. If the low of today breaks tomorrow, the lower high is set, and we're looking right back at the recent low of 21.59. We have to confirm daily trend changes for step one to try and break this complete bear control. We got to get over daily EMA 12 as step one. That's going to be part of the process of changing the trend, but the simple statement is if daily EMA 12 is resistant, bears are extremely comfortable on the daily chart. So mana, same thing, daily oversold bounce. What I could have done, is sold enough position to then just put my stop under the low, break even, and do it exactly as I did last time and say, well, if this is the monthly high or low, I nailed it, and maybe we bounce $3 plus. But honestly, I don't have enough confidence in the space at this point, and I would rather just rebuy higher if the bulls start to prove something to us. I don't want to give back these bounce gains because I like them, and it took a little work to get. I'm going to pay myself for the work that I put in playing these bounces and having to pay more attention over the last 4 days. So we're doing the same thing as the broader stock market. And a lot of people don't like that. Someone made a joke in the chat room that now I have to be watching Bitcoin and SPY and QQQ and the dollar and all these things to be trying to trade the cryptocurrency space. And you don't have to, but there are definitely clues out there. But for the foreseeable future, we're going to be looking for that to be the case. So Mana, scouting the daily lower high, tons of space for it to form. Even if this is not our daily lower high on all these names, the big upper wick certainly makes it look like it probably is. But even if it's not, we could see another 10% bounce higher from the high of today and still just be scouting a daily lower high. So if we top out, break the low of today tomorrow, we're then looking at our key support levels to see if they're able to hold for a daily higher low. Mana BTC was a laggard on this bounce as well. Finally got a leg up here overnight last night. The metaverse names started standing out. And again, I always like looking at my list here because I could easily see just yesterday, Sand and Mana were at the top. And that clearly gave me an indication the metaverse names are getting their turn. The little subsector are the lead bulls for this brief period of time. And you can use that information to then go look at the other metaverse names and potentially try and play a laggard. Atom was a lead bull. Atom's almost one step ahead here. The daily bounce played out and topped out. We set the daily lower high today and started daily consolidation. So it was a lead bull on that bounce, but now it's a lead bear. You can see it's at the bottom of my list here, and that's because daily consolidation has already started. Meanwhile, we're looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum saying, is daily consolidation about to start? So it's essentially ahead of the game in that regard. The low was set on January 22nd. Bitcoin's low was set January 24th. So it bottomed sooner, it bounced more significantly, and it topped sooner. Maybe we should be looking at Atom for clues. We'll see how long that keeps up. Atom bulls do have a lot of space for a daily higher low to form, anything above 27.34. We're looking for a weekly higher low, anything above 20.21, but the bulls must change that daily trend for a weekly higher low to be set. So scouting a daily higher low, anything above 27.34, and the BTC pairing is doing the same thing. The difference is these tops. The US dollar pairing has all these tops at the all-time high, and now the BTC pairing has tops at its high. And if this BTC pairing rolls over, again, both pairings have to set this daily higher low if the bulls are going to try and keep control here. We shall see. Stock market just closed. Did Bitcoin get some relief? Not yet, but this tightening 5-minute range should break shortly. So that is where we stand overall. Again, bigger picture, need to establish those game plans on timeframes. We know we're going to set a daily lower high. Am I going to sit through daily consolidation in bull positions, hoping for a bigger picture move, hoping for a trend change? Am I just looking for a short-term bounce to lock in those gains? Am I doing a little bit of both? Again, we want to be knowing what time frame is most important to us on this current trade. Because if I were trying to trade for monthly higher lows, I would only be out partial positions right now. But I'm not. Because the broader market weakness is really what it boils down to. Don't have enough confidence in the broader market to be looking bigger picture bullish in crypto at this point. That may change very quickly, but that's where I stand right now. So the daily downtrend remains our guides, and we're watching to see the first question, do we set our daily lower highs from here? Tomorrow will help answer that question. The second question, can we set daily higher lows? Or do we continue the daily downtrend and head towards 30,000? And that answer, honestly, that answer is probably going to come from the S&P 500. Can SPY hold the low of Monday? Or does it bear flag and drop to lower lows? If we do bear flag and drop to lower lows, the broader market, the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, will be at some of the more extreme oversold levels that we've seen in a while. So a lower low will definitely have me continuing to scout bounces, but it's been a great trading environment with this volatility. Everybody has been eating, both bulls and bears. Bulls had their chance over the past couple of days. Bears get another chance today. So that's been one good aspect of the volatility that we are currently seeing. But again, a little bit helpless in the cryptocurrency space where you're just looking to the broader stock market. And I know it's certainly not, the OGs in this space from 2017 and earlier are certainly a little bit sick to their stomach. The fact that everything is just going based on macro fundamentals with what the Fed is doing and based on correlation with the broader stock market. That wasn't supposed to be what crypto was going to be, but that's where we stand. So have to call it like it is, accept reality, and we'll see how long this correlation keeps up. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to do good things, and we'll check back in to see if our daily lower highs are being set. So picking up story time, still in Costa Rica, and getting ready to move to the little house on the beach to do the house sitting. Still staying at the hostel at this point and exploring the jungle. Lots of hiking trails around and rivers to swim in and fun to be had. Some stray animals, so befriended some dogs and cats that were living out on the road, and they would sleep on our doorstep knowing that we were the good guys. This is a cool river spot that, again, everything's just a 5-10 minute walk from the center of town. Ended up getting an ear infection from that water, as my body was not used to the different microbes and things in that kind of environment, but learned some tricks. Obviously, there's no ATM in town. There's no doctor in town. So I ended up just getting some garlic cloves and some olive oil. And you crush up the garlic cloves and put it in the olive oil overnight. And then you use that as ear drops. And you can even just crush up the outside of the garlic clove and stick it in your ear overnight. And so after an elevated temperature and a clear ear infection for about 3 days, it went away and didn't have to worry about it. So nice that some natural remedies could help things out in that instance and didn't have to go to Panama, which is the border where there's the closest real town, but that's a 1.5 to 2 hour drive to get to. So I like ants at this point, but these ants are just insane. They would have these trails going along the dirt that would be so walked on by these paths of ant as they're building their nests and taking these leaves that it would literally be 4 or 6 inches lower than the ground around it in these little channels, just where these ants erode the dirt. And then, of course, rain falls on it, and then rain adds to that erosion. But they're literal lanes where the ants are just 24/7 the whole day, just back and forth, thousands of them in their commutes. So the best part about the ocean in the evening is the water and the air is still plenty warm to be swimming. So pretty much until you can't see anymore, the ocean is fair game. And it's pretty much a multiple day excursion to get into the ocean. Some cool bugs. And again, the plants and animals were one of the coolest things because I had never been in an environment that had all these different species, and to just observe them all, it was like a playground of life. So that's Cowboy. Cowboy was a little old dude, and his god was ball. Anything with a ball, that's all he cared about in his life. He was probably double digits age at this point, and he has since passed on, but he was still killing it in terms of running for that ball. As many times as you would throw it, he would go get it. So our job consisted of every morning walking 100 feet to the wide open beach that was to ourselves and throwing the ball for the dogs and playing with the dogs and swimming, and that was it. And this is Baloo. Baloo spoke Spanish and Cowboy spoke English. Baloo was much younger. So if you wanted her to come, you'd say, "Benga!" And Cowboy would give her a run for her money in terms of going after that ball. But they were a great duo to hang out with, so we spent the next 4 weeks hanging out with them. And I'll tell some stories, some dog stories where we fought off wild packs of wolves from the mountaintop. I actually already told that story, so some of you OG TCG viewers know that story. But it's a good one. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good day.